For a decade, he was invisible. No calls, no photos, no trails. America searched every desert, every cave, nothing. Then, one lead, a mysterious compound in Pakistan with high walls and zero digital footprint. Was he there, or was it a trap? The president had to decide. No arrests, no air support, just 2 stealth helicopters flying into hostile territory. And then, one of them crashes. Mission compromised. Tension rises in the Situation Room. No one speaks. One wrong move, and it's over. But what happened next changed history. This is the hunt for Osama bin Laden. After September 11th, the CIA shifted into crisis mode. Within hours, their focus locked on one name, Osama bin Laden. Inside Langley, a special task force was activated. Files were reopened, agents were deployed, and global surveillance kicked in. This wasn't just retaliation. It was a race to stop whatever came next. But bin Laden had planned for this moment. While America mourned, he was already disappearing. The CIA knew they had one shot, and the clock was ticking. With U.S. bombs pounding Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden fled into the unforgiving mountains of Tora Bora. It was the perfect hideout, caves, cliffs, and snow-covered trails. The CIA traced his steps, watching from drones and intercepting chatter. U.S. forces closed in. At one point, they were sure he was there. Airstrikes lit up the mountains. Afghan fighters surrounded the area. But somehow he slipped through. Just miles from capture, Osama vanished. Maybe through secret tunnels, maybe under the cover of night. What's certain is, America had its chance and missed it. From that day forward, bin Laden wasn't just in hiding, he became a ghost. For nearly a decade, Osama bin Laden stayed hidden. After escaping Tora Bora in December 2001, the CIA launched an aggressive pursuit to track him down. CIA Director George Tenet led the charge, deploying all resources, satellite surveillance, field agents, and informants. But Osama was a ghost, slipping through the cracks. By 2007, Michael Hayden, the new CIA director, took over. His leadership focused on refining intelligence and tracking every lead. However, by 2009, after years of frustration, the hunt was still at a standstill. Leon Panetta took the reins in 2009 and changed the game. Instead of just focusing on Osama, the CIA pivoted to tracking his couriers, people who carried messages and supplies for him. Late in 2010, the CIA intercepted a single phone call in Peshawar, Pakistan. The voice on the other end? A known al-Qaeda courier, Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, also called Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. He was speaking too casually, too often. He thought no one was listening, but America was. From that moment, the CIA didn't pounce. They watched. Ibrahim led them, unknowingly, straight to a compound in Abbottabad, a quiet military town. But this place, it wasn't ordinary. High concrete walls, barbed wire, no phone lines, no internet, trash burned instead of taken out. To CIA analysts at Langley, these were all red flags. Why such extreme secrecy, unless someone inside had something to hide? Over months, teams built a full blueprint. Who came and went when the gates opened? How many people lived inside? The courier was always there, but so was one man, tall, who never stepped outside. Not once. The profile was chillingly close to bin Laden. In March 2011, CIA Director Leon Panetta walked into the Situation Room and laid it all out to President Obama. The compound, the courier, the mystery man inside. The plan was born in silence, hidden in the war rooms of Langley and polished in the Situation Room of the White House. It would be the most daring covert operation since 9/11. Operation Neptune Spear. Chosen to lead, Admiral William H. McRaven, commander of JSOC, the Joint Special Operations Command, and the boots on the ground, SEAL Team 6, also known as DevGru, America's most elite counterterrorism force. For weeks, they trained at a secret facility in North Carolina, inside a full-scale replica of the Abbottabad compound. Every wall, every corner, rehearsed with precision. The team would be inserted using 2 modified stealth Black Hawk helicopters, radar-evading monsters designed for missions that didn't officially exist. Inside the choppers, 24 of America's best, carrying suppressed rifles, night vision goggles, and enough firepower to fight their way out if the mission failed. The risks? Enormous. If Pakistan's military detected them, it could spark a full-blown international crisis. If the intel was wrong, they'd be invading a foreign nation for nothing. If they were killed, no rescue was coming. On the night of May 1st, 2011, under a moonless sky, the helicopters lifted off from Jalalabad. No lights, no communications. Low and fast, skimming mountain ridges, flying nap of the earth to avoid radar. Inside the White House, the Situation Room went silent. President Obama, Vice President Biden, all watching the feed from a drone circling above the compound. Tension gripped ticked every second. As the helicopters neared Abbottabad, the compound appeared, just as it had in the satellite photos. High walls, barbed wire, blackout windows. The lead helicopter dipped lower, and then the mission began. One of the stealth helicopters lost lift, trapped by the compound's high walls and cool air. It crashed inside the courtyard. No fire, no explosion. But now, one chopper down, and the mission was hanging by a thread. Still, the SEALs didn't hesitate. They blew the doors, jumped out, and continued the assault just as planned. The second team landed outside the compound, scaled the walls, and joined the mission from another angle. The Situation Room went silent. The hunt was still alive, and the most critical moment was seconds away. SEAL Team 6 moved like shadows, trained for this moment, carrying the weight of a nation on their backs. Room by room, floor by floor, every step could have been their last. Then, the third floor. A tall figure stepped out. No weapon, no words, just a moment frozen in history. 2 shots. A decade of pain, fear, and unanswered questions ended in silence. Osama bin Laden was dead. The man who orchestrated 9/11, the face of terror for an entire generation, was finally gone. They didn't cheer, they didn't celebrate. Instead, they moved fast, collecting intel, hard drives, documents. Every second inside that compound could still cost them everything. 38 minutes after landing, the team had what they came for. Back in Washington, the Situation Room sat in complete stillness. Then came the words they'd waited 10 years to hear. Geronimo Ikea, enemy killed in action.
Geronimo. Forgotten country. Geronimo.
Geronimo was the code name for Osama during the operation. IKEA stands for Enemy Killed in Action. For the families of 9/11 victims, for every soldier who served, and for a nation that never gave up, justice had come. On May 2nd, 2011, the world stood still as the announcement came. Osama bin Laden, the mastermind of 9/11, was dead. It was a moment no one thought would come, but it did. The hunt that began almost a decade ago had finally come to a dramatic and explosive end. Across the United States, the reaction was nothing short of a wave of emotion. From the streets of New York City to Washington, D.C., crowds gathered, singing the national anthem, waving American flags, and chanting, USA. It wasn't just about justice. It was about reclaiming a sense of peace that had been lost on that fateful day in 2001. President Barack Obama stepped into the spotlight just hours later, his voice steady but powerful, as he addressed the nation. In a moment that would be etched into history, he declared,
"Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda."
Obama's calm yet firm delivery reminded the nation of what had been accomplished, not just with military precision, but with the resilience of a country determined to overcome. And before we close, there's one more story. When the SEAL Team 6 heroes returned home, President Obama met them privately. During the operation, they had forgotten one thing, a measuring tape to confirm bin Laden's height. So in a moment of quiet respect and a touch of humor, Obama gifted them measuring tapes, engraved, a subtle salute to the precision of their mission and the weight of their courage. We pour our heart, soul, and countless hours into stories like this. So if you believe these stories deserve to be told, subscribe to Unblinx, because truth deserves a voice. If this story moved you, one like for our nation's pride and the men and women who never gave up. And if you want to know how this all began, the day that changed the world, go watch our 9/11 video.